Hmm. Okay, so hello guys, welcome to the channel. We have Mohammad Samgan Khan with us, which we who will show effortless Laravel uh, stuff, which will help us to I don't know, like I'm still not aware much, so let's know from the Mohammad only. So Mohammad will introduce himself and give a short intro about his talk.
Hey guys, my name is Mohammed Samgan Khan. I have been working in this industry for software engineering like 10, 12 years now. So I got some experience under my belt. I have worked in India, I have worked in Dubai. Now currently I'm in US working as a cloud consultant for a company. So uh, without like going in detail about myself, let's move to the package and why I created it and what actually the package is, what actually the package Lact is. So I'll start with the problem statement. The problem statement is basically redundant code. So whenever you are building any application, as the size of the application grows, as the modules of the application grows, the redundant code also growing. Like the routes which are just for the sake of getting or posting data, no other use, redundant function calls like same structure, just one word here or one word there, these kind of redundant code.
Right.
And it's very hard to keep the code in a dry spec when you cannot do anything about it. Like for example, if you want to, like we will be building a to do app for the demonstration, so let's take an example of that. We have a to do app. To fetch all the tasks for that particular user, you have to have a function which will return all the tasks. You have to have a route which we can access it from all the tasks, and you have to have an internal function in your React or Vue setup to hit that and get all the tasks. So these things are redundant with all modules, and as the number of module grows, these things also grows. That is basically where the Lact comes into the existence. What Lact does is Lact bridges the gap between the controller function and the JS framework like React or Vue, and removing all this redundant code and making it more automated, making it more uh, how to say speed up or fast, you can say. So this is the
Right.
like hypothesis, or this is the background behind the creating Lact.
Okay. So, let's start with like how you get into the PHP, like, and before that, what you were doing.
Uh, I started working with PHP in my second year of engineering. After C, I was like, as an every engineer goes through the C phase. I was working with C, and then I started like into the web development. I was very curious about web development, and
Mm.
coming from east side, like the eastern side of the earth, PHP is very famous, and it was very famous at that time. So in the western region, the node was very popular, but we are PHP people from East. So I started working on PHP. I started learning PHP. I got my first job after college, and I got a campus placement. And first website which I was assigned to was IFSC code search engine. So basically, you search, select your city, country, and everything, and the uh, website will give you an IFSC code for the bank you selected. So that
Right.
was my first project in PHP, and it was like fun. And since then, everything is like one way or another. I started with core, I started with, then I moved to code igniter, then I moved to cake php. I had a really good experience and really good history with cake php. I really loved cake php. Cake php is like not to a Laravel extent, but cake php is a really good piece of work. And then finally I moved to Laravel like some couple
Mm.
of years ago, like 5 or 6 I guess.
Okay. So it is and so did you like the Laravel? I mean, how like how much you love the Laravel? I mean.
It's hard to say, like on a scale of 1 to 10. I really love Laravel. The only problem I have with Laravel is it's growing very fast. It's
Mhm.
very hard to keep up with the framework. It's like really hard to keep up with the framework.
That is maybe a problem, or maybe like they are solving stuff really quickly, and they are giving us a feature even really more quickly, right? So what I remember is like before it was releasing in a 6 month or maybe like something like that, or right, and they started now yearly releases, right?
They say it's yearly, but majority of content like which is like really useful comes every week. I'm like, new
Yeah, right,
release,
right.
we have this function now,
So
we have that
yeah,
function now.
actually that is only after I mean what we say, like after 11, right? Before that it was not
Yeah, it was
like
pretty small.
much. Yeah,
Yeah, so
but they
like
are
that
like see.
last week they released that model auto loading, and that was like a fabulous thing. And I was like,
Mhm.
now I have to go back into my old project and
So
refactor everything.
but because like see, uh, stuff is contributed by the community, right? So that particular thing was also contributed by someone, right? It is like I don't remember the name, but we talked in our like previous Sunday stream, right? So of course uh, it is like communities contributing and we are growing, right,
Yeah,
at the same time.
that's the beautiful part. Like I gave you the
Yeah.
downside first, but that's the beautiful part that Laravel have the
Hmm.
strongest community in the frameworks. Like I haven't seen any because I worked on Node too. I worked for a really good time on Node when I was Dubai. When I was
Hmm.
in Dubai, I used to work on a logistics company. Like I was the team lead for a logistics company, and all the microservices were in Node. So I have extensively worked in Node, and yet
Hmm.
I haven't seen any sort of like this level of community and this level of entanglement as Laravel have. No other language or framework have that.
Right, right. So, of course, you are 100% correct, right? And like, see, so what I know is from the docs of the, or maybe like what we talked about, the Lact is, it is similar to, we can say Jiggy or a Wayfinder, right? Is it so?
It is inspired by Wayfinder definitely. So Ziggy and Wayfinder are more towards the routes, managing the routes.
Mhm.
Like basically Ziggy also does the same. You can call the named routes directly from your JS, but there is like a controversy over that. Like some people like Ziggy, some people don't like Ziggy because it exposes the route into the front end. So there is a
Yeah.
controversial understanding for Ziggy. And Wayfinder, when like I'll tell you, when the first I saw the tweet from Taylor about Wayfinder, I was very excited. Like I was like, this is the thing I was waiting for. Again, redundant code problem, and I hate redundant code. So I was like, yeah, this is the thing I was like waiting for. I went into Wayfinder, I started working. I was like, okay, now I can call directly controller function and I just can get data. I'm like, nope. Like, then what's the purpose? Like, I know there is some theory in their head, but I was like, I don't understand that. Like, I have Ziggy, I have like for just for the route, I don't understand that in all honesty. But that gave me a starting point.
Of course.
Okay, if you can call the routes into the front
Mhm.
end, why can you directly call the function from front
Mhm.
end? So that worked as
Mhm.
my first
So,
stepping.
okay. Mhm. Yeah, right, right. Continue, continue.
So that worked as my first stepping stone, and from there, I started building like how to do and like one step at a time, one step at a time. And right now I'm on like 0.3. It's still in beta. Still, it's not like fully production ready, but it's like
Mhm.
safe to use. So then like as of now, like it can almost create all the modules you need. uh, there are like two
Mhm.
things which are like in future scope. Right now it's the dependencies on Ziggy. Right now internally, Lact also use Ziggy, the route function and everything. So first future scope is like remove that dependency and make it the entire module internally accessible by without any dependency. And second is inertia forms. Inertia forms are very popular among the people who use either Vue or React or Svelte, whatever they want to use. But the integration
Yeah.
with inertia form. So I this morning I was working on inertia form. Like I'm this close of
Mm.
like figuring it out. It's almost done. I have to just push the release. I didn't wanted to push any release before this meeting because I don't know. Like demo have this like
Yeah.
engineering, software engineering have this curse of whenever you demo something, it's always breaks.
Yeah. So there are some demo codes which are like uh, which are not with us when we are demoing on the stage or something
Yeah,
like that.
always,
I mean,
always. From engineering, showing it to
mm,
director, publicly displaying it on the stage. Whenever you demo something,
mhm,
it somehow always breaks. So
right,
I was like, I'm not releasing anything this morning. I'm gonna wait after this session. I'm gonna release after
right,
this.
right. Of course. Hmm.
So, in
So
conclusion, sorry
see.
to interrupt you. Like in conclusion, Wayfinder and Ziggy stops at route level, but Lact goes one step ahead to the routes and directly
Mhm,
taps into the controller function and access those, like either get or post data, instead of like just
mhm.
limiting themselves on a route level.
Okay, so like in Wayfinder, you need to define a route, right? Even if you are accessing index method from the controller,
Mhm.
right? Hmm.
In Lact, you don't.
Okay. Hmm. Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. More on that is like Jiggy can. I mean, I never used Jiggy, but I think Jiggy can like configure like how what are the routes you want to hide, right?
Yeah, I think so. I also never got into detail because majority of use of Jiggy is just calling route by their name. This is like the majority
Yeah.
functionality, and Laravel uses by default it comes with the Laravel installation with React, and
Right.
so I never didn't use Vue in recent days, so
So
I don't know about that.
yeah.
But in React, it's a default right
Hmm.
now.
Right. So the now they're gonna even like replace the Jiggy from the starter kits, right? As well, right? In future.
It's
Yeah.
the community is like again, some are in favor, some are in. There is no final decision yet, but might be there is
Hmm.
a chance that
So
they
like
will
see,
replace Ziggy with
there is always like priority to first party packages, right? Even though
Mhm.
whatever it is, I mean, that is good.
Mhm.
So anything you want
As
to
well
share
as
before we
more
start? Yeah.
reliable. First party packages are always more reliable because their internal team is working on
Yeah.
that. Third party is always
Right. Right.
like
Hmm.
I have a family problem, so sorry, no release from now onwards. It just doesn't work that.
Can be, right, right. Even so, if Laravel, like someone like a company or something like that, a community, a big community, right, or the first party is maintaining, then we can do trust, right? That is what uh the
Mm,
thing.
and the beautiful
Okay.
part about Laravel is if like a package gets a popular to the popular level, they just import it in their first party
Right.
packages. Like Socialite had
Of
that.
course.
Socialite was adapted,
Right.
Fest was
Yeah.
adapted. So whenever there is like inertia,
Yeah.
I there was one package which
Inertia was also, yeah. Of
yeah.
course.
So these all these packages were started as a third party packages. Eventually they
Of
became so
course.
popular and so good that
So
they became first
basically,
party.
see, Laravel ignition was there, right? It was
Mhm,
from the Spacian included into the Laravel,
mhm.
but now they built it their own, like what we call it, up error page, right? And they are now maybe like partnered with the what you the do you know the name? I mean, the
No, I
okay, sorry. So it is like Flare's alternative. Okay.
I don't have any
Um,
idea about that. I would have like jumped into this
okay.
conversation if I had.
Okay, no problem. Uh, it's in my mind, but like I'm not able to see. Whenever you try to like recall something, you then
Yeah,
and
you
that
forget.
at that particular time you forgot that.
You
Okay,
forget.
so even yeah, even what Daniel was saying, Daniel is a creator of Jiggy,
Mhm,
and now the Titan, like the Beyond Code Titan, is maintaining the Jiggy package. But initially, it was created from the created by the Daniel, and Daniel himself is saying that it is the better alternative to the Jiggy. I mean,
mhm,
so way more better. I mean, so maybe it will be like we can see in the future that it is now by default in the starter kits, right?
mhm. And this
Okay,
is
but people
this
like
is the like the way Laravel works actually. So remember there was like webmix before, and to like
hmm,
there was a time there was webmix, and
right,
before that there was gulp. So there was gulp
gulp, yeah, right,
gulp as the web bundler. Then they moved to webmix because webmix was popular. Then they moved to wheat. So
right.
Laravel is very good
So
at
it is like, but
adaptation.
even like yeah, even like it is trying to make our life easy. Nothing other than that. I mean,
No, no,
I
no. That's
used
the goal.
gulp. Yeah. So before like few months ago, I used Gulp, right? How? Because I was working with one legacy project 5.2, right?
Still going on?
So
I thought we
what happened?
forgot Gulp. I'm like, Gulp still alive? I thought they are done with Gulp.
No, no. Oh, no, no. Actually, one of the legacy project.
Hmm.
So it was like it was into 5.2, right? And I upgraded it to 11 before release of Laravel 12. So it was like there was a gulp, and it is still the gulp. We haven't migrated it to the white because it is a painful thing. PHP code, PHP code is in our control, but JS code, no, no.
Just thinking
Let
about
it
this is
be
like
however it
like
is.
it can give me a nightmare just thinking about it. Like I have to move from Gulp. How will I move from Gulp to it?
Okay, so let's go with your demo, right?
Yeah.
If you have anything before that, you can share.
Uh,
Otherwise, we are good to go.
I gave you the concept, I gave you the problem statement. Okay, it's more of a show and tell now instead of like just.
Yeah. Otherwise, I will probably ask you some questions and after your demo,
Yeah, sure.
right?
I'll share my screen.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, sure, you can.
Where do you share your screen from? Here.
Okay, if we haven't tried that, right? Oh.
Enter here.
Hmm.
Share. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So let's start with creating a project. New React to do. Very important app.
Hmm.
Built in past. Initialize. No.
Yeah, you are creating a new project.
Yes.
Hmm. I hope you have Mac.
Yeah, this is Mac.
So that's fine. Even if you are having a Windows like me, then just auto loading takes whole projection creation time. I mean,
I saw that. I was on your Steam the other day when you were looking for PU. I'm like, ah, this is painful. I feel the pain.
Actually, there is a solution, but I am not like much into it. So I was like, okay, it's fine for me for now at least. Oh, it was really fast, faster than me. I mean.
It's here. We have sites. We have to do action IDE.
Mm.
Here comes the
So in
IDE.
future, you can also create a custom starter kit with the Lact, right?
That is a part of my plan, but not until React is like stable because there are also three variation:
Hmm.
React and
Okay.
Vue and Svelte. So
Okay.
like inertia form, there comes in three variations. So if you're using Vue, it comes for Vue. If you're using React, it comes for React, and same for Svelte. So
Of
I'm
course.
also like right now it's a generic. You can use in all three of them because it works on JavaScript rather than
TypeScript or
the
Vue.
framework itself. So it's like
Hmm.
written in pure because it uses fetch API which is available after Node 18 inbuilt in the node. So there is no
Hmm.
dependency here. And as I said, the Ziggy dependency is like I'm planning to remove it as soon as possible. And
Right.
so this is the plan to later on create like
Okay.
three versions: Lact, React, Lact Vue, and React Svelte, so that it can directly integrate like
Hmm.
inertia forms. Right now, you
Okay.
have to work a little bit extra to work with the library itself.
Okay. So is it PHP Storm?
Yes,
I'm
PHP
not
Storm.
aware.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
PHP Storm. I
Hmm.
have been using PHP Storm since like 4 years now. Initially,
Mm-hmm.
for 3 years, I had like open source license from PHP Storm. Like they have this
Okay.
they have this program where you can submit your open source work to them, and if they deem it fitting, they can award you a one person or team according to the project licensing for that. So I have been using that for
Mm-hmm.
like 3 years, and then eventually they were like, you gotta buy it, dude. Like, okay. I'll buy it.
Maybe like see, like people uh are moving from PHP Storms to other IDE, so maybe that's why. Maybe I don't know. I found lots of. people due to cursor AI or something like that.
Yeah, I
So
was
people are
watching
moving.
Nuno's. I was watching Nuno's live stream other day. He was going through Z. He was going through Cursor. I was like, I tried all that too. I heavily used like this. What do you call it? VS Code in the initial days too, because my entire like when I was working in Dubai, all of my team was working on VS Code, and I was like, so it's very hard
Mm.
to collaborate someone with something on else level. So I moved to
Mm.
VS Code for that, and I also created
Right.
an extension for in that time when Pint just came out. It was the time when Pint just came
Yeah.
out. Like, and before that there was no formatter for Laravel, or there was PHP CS fix was already
CS
all.
fixer.
Yeah, CSS was
Yeah.
there, but it was very hard like to integrate and everything.
To
But
configuration.
yeah, then Pint came into existence, and I was like, yeah, this is what we needed. So I also wrote an extension from for VS Code for Pint, that how can you directly integrate Pint, and without any hard work you can just run a command and it will format entire project.
Okay. Hmm. So
So
I'm also using a pint extension
mhm.
in a VS Code. So which is like you can format your file and it will be formatted by pint
Yes,
directly.
yes, yes, yes. Right
So
click and format with Pint.
yeah.
Which one you are using,
So
like,
maybe
just out of curiosity?
I let me open the VS Code and check.
Yeah, in the meanwhile I'll configure the database and like add the database to.
Okay, you are using SQLite?
Yeah, it comes with the default, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to
Hmm.
change it. It is good.
Okay. It is from open something, open Southiners,
Yeah, open
something
source.
like that.
Yeah, my
Hmm.
comes just the under it. I have like 8,000 downloads, I guess, if I'm not wrong.
It has a 88,
Yeah,
89,000.
it is a very big organization.
But it is like, see, right now it has some problem with the, and not right now. I mean, every single release, they have a problem. I mean, so
Mhm.
it is like I am right now running a second last release, right? Because in the current release they have some issues, right? And if I go one more step back, it will have issues. So I need to go one more step back. I mean, if I want to go
So they're like stable, unstable, stable, unstable.
unstable, yeah, like that. So okay,
So we got our database set up. Migrations are there.
so you
Those.
still have a you still have a scope to like maintain that particular extension properly. I mean,
It's my
I
mine.
mean to use that.
Yeah, mine is very stable. It's not. It doesn't do much. I'll be very clear. It doesn't do much. It's
So
just
that is what I am talking about. So you can add some features so people start using that. I mean,
I knew, but I had that in mind. But I think like sometimes over configuring things is like a bad thing. I think that is the case with
Mhm.
that extension, because Pint you need for two purposes only. First, either format your
Right.
entire project or format the current
Hmm.
file you are working on.
So yeah, it is only about formatting current file and the entire project, right?
So these are the two things. Now, one thing you can do is like auto format on save. That I already implemented on that, so you can auto format on save.
Even like, see, I never like auto formatting on save.
Yeah, yeah. These I also don't like auto formatting on save. In all honesty, because it like
Even
that
see,
it
even
gives that
I don't
distress.
like auto save.
It's like what happened.
Even I don't like auto save.
Now that
Yeah.
I'm not
Even
used to that.
I don't like auto save. So yeah. So sometimes like you lose the history if you use auto save. So that's why.
That's my personal preferences is I keep save on window out. Like for example, if I'm changing the window, it will be automatically saved.
Yeah, that is okay.
That
But
I
it's like
never.
you are changing the window or something like, yeah. But I don't even like, see what I do if I have a 7 or 8 files without save, I click on auto save and disable it. So it like all the files are saved.
Okay. Getting
Okay,
back to
let's go ahead.
the to-do app, we'll start with creating a task model and task migration, and just filling it with little bit data so that we have something to play with. Make model task with migration controller and factory. We got the table.
Hmm. Can you zoom a bit?
No, I think I can. Sorry, sorry. Cool now.
Yeah.
So this constraint, and I know before you say it, I know you hate constraints. So, but I don't.
Hmm.
personally, personally, who have
Actually,
spent like hours.
yeah. See. Hmm.
I was
Let me
saying,
tell you. I mean, I like the constraint, but not all the time. I mean, like if you are using soft delete,
mhm.
or maybe something like that, or even like if see it is depends on like what kind of projects or what kind of data you are working on. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes see in some of the projects, whenever you delete a parent stuff, you don't want to delete the childs or something like that,
No,
right? Or
I understand that.
maybe.
This is the general
Hmm,
thought process, but my experience comes from cleaning the database with the abandoned rows. Because
hmm,
after some time,
right.
when the project grows and you don't have these kind of constraints, some developer somewhere will delete a
Hmm.
user and will forget to delete
So
everything else.
okay. Okay, let me tell you one thing. So I have worked with kind of projects where deleting data is a kind of breaking the rule. I mean, so it is
Right.
like you have some government policies, right? Which tells you that you must have 1 year or 2 years of data, right? Even
Mhm.
after user delete it.
Yes, yes.
So you need to do soft delete or you need to move like archive those data
Archive,
into
archive.
other tables, right?
I was
So
about to
at
say
that
that.
time, if you yeah, so it is like when you see at that time if you delete that data and other data is are automatically deleted, or even you have cascade null on cascade, you will never can find that what was the data related to this particular relation, right? Got it.
Yeah, I
So
understand. I understand. Again, as you said before, it's like a depending on scene to scene kind of situation, like project to
right,
project,
right.
scene to scene.
So yeah, on Pinkery we delete the stuff with the
Yeah,
cascading.
I know. The notifications are also deleted in there.
Yeah.
So we got our task table. Yep, user ID, task created, and let's fill the task model. This is your contribution, right? The factory
Yeah. Right, right. Yes, yes.
dollar
So it
fillable.
was like I added it into the like user model of the skeleton, right? And
Yes.
Taylor said, "Are you open for configuring into the framework itself?" So yeah, I did it. So I
We
did
have
it into the Jetstream, Breeze, everywhere,
that.
wherever I seen these particular,
Wherever I see
like.
factory, I put it. We have the model, we have the relation.
Even I don't like fillables, but yeah. Mm.
I like fillables in all honesty. And there is a
Mm.
reason behind that. So I was working on
Mm.
this ERP system once, and we have like 200 modules to work on, and it was like a nightmare to do all that manually. So I wrote a command which takes columns from fillable and generate a
Mm.
dynamic form from all the columns depending on the name and type
So
fillable to
right,
it.
right, right.
So
So
that,
alternatively you can also use the database, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
So that from there
So
I have this
of
habit of,
course, yeah, it's cool. So alternative of fillable is maybe the properties you can define, right, on the PHP doc. So
yes.
from there also you can get stuff, but it can be a bit complicated for the normal devs
Yeah,
to
it's like
understand. I
keep
mean,
it like this. It's a simple rule. Keep it simple as you can. Just keep it simple. So
right.
uh, it was from the very
Hmm.
beginning, like starting. And in the initial days, I also used to put the garden empty array. So like, and then I saw Nuno doing it in the modal, and you told me about the modal too. Somewhere you told me, I remember doing like you can go to directly to the app service provider.
I just add into the app service
Yeah,
provider
app service
unguarded.
provider. I'm like, yeah,
So
this is
yeah,
cool. This is cool stuff. But oh, old habits die hard kind of situation.
yeah.
We
You
have.
need to change the habits time by time. Yeah.
I agree 100%. 100% without any argument.
See,
I agree.
hmm.
We have both the relation are made belongs to and
User is belongs to and
task
tasker has many.
many.
Perfect.
Let's fill up
Hmm. So you don't define types or just for this?
there are like
Uh, no, no, not this. I mean generic types.
no,
Hmm. Okay. So you don't use PHP stand level 5 up or 6
no,
up.
no, no, not yet. Like I started using it, pain in the ass, but
Hmm. I work with level 10 even in my client's project.
no, I really started using it, and I like, in all honesty, I
Right.
got like
So
impressed by you.
let me let yeah let me tell you one thing. When I get this project, it was a PHP stand level 0, right? And it's a huge project where like see or like our chat app, basic CRUD, all of 10x. I mean they can combine with the 10x value. It will be small for that project. I mean, and I upgraded whole project to level 10.
You, my friend, have a patience of a saint
Uh,
because PHP,
actually, no.
like,
What I can tell you, yeah,
please
yeah,
continue.
yeah, yeah. So what I can say is I know each and every errors which comes into Laravel in a PHP stand, right? Each and every error. I know how to solve them, right? So I don't
Uh,
have to like worry about the stuff.
what the?
Even like you do know like by one search and replace, I can decrease 1,000 errors because I know the stuff like why Laravel is reacting like this or something like that, right?
No, no, I believe you, man. I believe you. It's like basically, what do you say? Sentence is good. So it's basically, I have like so much struck by lightning that I know how lightning works now.
Right.
I have gone through so much pain that I understand like how pain works now. Because that's the only way. I started like as I was saying that I got impressed by you. I did. Uh, Vignesh J is asking, "What are you building?"
Yeah.
So Vignesh, we are not building anything. I'm just demoing the package I created, Lact. I think you just joined. Basically, it is a bridge between front end
Hmm.
and back end. Laravel back end with front end was either React View or anything,
Hmm.
which removes the redundant code and
Hmm.
like makes it very easy to communicate with Laravel controllers. So as of
Right.
now, we didn't do
Okay.
much.
So
We just created like the factory set, our model and factories, and just populated some data in our tasks model. So we have here,
basically, we are building a to-do app
yeah, we are building a to-do app. Yes,
with his package.
did configuration.
Hmm. Even see, I don't like to-do apps.
No one likes to-do app. Everyone builds them. No one uses them.
Yeah.
Start our.
I also like I hate when I need to define a to do in taste or maybe the project like to do. We will gonna come back to this later and we never come back.
You
Hmm.
are like opening all the cards one at a time. It's a painful process. I understand that. Login. What is the generic password? Password is the password, right? Yep.
For default, yeah, it is.
Yes, password is the password. So our setup is
Hmm.
ready. Dashboard.txx. This is also another painful tsx.
Hmm.
Why? JS was perfect. JSX was good. TSX. I was working with this TSX. I'm like, I want to kill myself because I don't
Mhm.
like all developers have this or just I have this problem. But when are like red lines
Right.
or squirrely lines in the code, I'm like,
Any,
uh,
any,
yeah. Or any,
use
like
any
if you have to
everywhere.
use any, like what is the point of using it? Like make it make
uh,
sense. If you are not going to define a type, then why are you
hmm.
forcing yourself to define a type?
Right.
Anyway,
I worked with the Angular bit and I know the pain of the
mhm.
any.
So as of now, we have basic setup is ready now. Okay, so we
Right.
created
Hmm.
model, we populated data, we have like 10 tasks for every user. We logged in with one user. Okay,
Okay.
so far so
So
good.
are we using inertia or
React, yes, inertia React.
Okay.
Over here,
Hmm.
see, it is from inertia react here.
Hmm.
Like the code is not visible. Should I like change the setting and update the font size?
Yeah, you should be bit. I
See,
mean, maybe something like,
okay,
you know.
font, font
So it
size.
does not work with like CMD plus or something like that.
I don't know what is CMD plus again.
C command plus plus.
It works, but then you have to do it on every page. Like for
Okay,
example, if I
got it.
new open a new page
In
in
VS
Code,
Code, you don't need to do
yeah,
that.
it
So
like if I did that in the first screen, I did command plus plus plus, it increased, but then when I shifted to another screen, another tab, I
yeah.
just lost it. So I just make the
Okay.
default very big.
Hmm.
So now we
So that is a pain of YouTubers when you are with the, with the audience. You need to zoom it, and you are then when you are working, you need to zoom out. So I think that at that time profile stuff come into the picture. You can create multiple profiles.
and the what people watching don't understand that you can see the code now, but this code in here is shouting at me. Like it's like so big that I'm like, okay, calm down.
Okay.
So, so the first task what we will do is we will populate the list, show all the tasks of the user. So we will
Okay.
need setup number UI.
So I think first task will be to install your package. Or
Yes.
you already did.
No, I didn't do that. I was so scared of the UI. I didn't. I forgot to install the package. Okay. Doc installation. The installation process is like pretty straightforward. I'll go through
Hmm.
the installation process too. Like basically, it works with two components. The first component basically is the package itself, and the second component is the white plugin which we use for run. Run is basically
Hmm.
what run does is it monitors these two routes, like all the PHP file in routes and
Okay.
all the PHP file in
Right.
controller. And whenever there is a change in these
Hmm.
files, it will just run the PHP lact artisan lact run command. This command is
Cool.
basically
So
the heart and soul of the project.
yeah. So
So
basically, it is similar to Tailwind CSS or a Vite, right?
yeah, basically they all work in the same, like constantly watching the files and generating the compiled code.
Hmm.
This is exactly the same.
Right.
It constantly watches for the things which I'm gonna mention in the
Hmm.
next in future. So
Okay.
this is the part, and this is not from like
Hmm.
not from me or anything. It's like default plugin which comes from Vite, and you can
Yeah,
use
we can like understand by the name, right? Why Vite plugin run.
Mm. And you can use this to do anything. You can create your own command and just put monitoring files in here, and you can do any sort of
Hmm.
thing.
Nice.
And the second,
Cool.
this thing is from me, the Lact
Okay.
pre-built. So what happens is
Okay.
whenever you deploy your project on production or whenever you
Right.
deploy, the
Hmm.
Vite builds all the bundles of JavaScript. Basically,
Right.
it's npm run build. So if you don't,
Hmm.
and my package puts everything which is auto generated and all the files which are like dynamically generated in the package
Hmm.
itself, in the resources of the package itself, and then you use it
Hmm.
from there. So in the first run, they don't find
Okay.
those finds, like all the files are missing because they are not generated on the production
Okay.
server. So
Hmm.
that's why you
So
need pre-build. So
so it
this
is not generating. Sorry to interrupt. It is not generating files into the project's resources
no.
directory. It.
Project resources direct will never be changed. It will always have your code. The dynamic code will not show in the project resources. And that is also one point where Lact is different from Wayfinder. When you run the
Hmm.
Wayfinder generate command, it puts all the definition into your resource folder.
So maybe like there will be some reason to do that.
I don't know the reason, but I
Probably.
personally don't like
Yeah.
it. But in future, I'm thinking about putting it into the Lact configuration that you want it as a hidden resources, or you want the resources to be generated in your resource folder.
Hmm.
So user
Okay.
can
Cool.
configure as per their own need. This is like one of the features for the configuration, like hidden
Okay.
or exposed. What this Lact pre-build does is it runs the PHP artisan Lact
Hmm.
run. It generate all the resources before the Vite compilation starts.
So like what if someone using a mix?
I didn't thought about that, but thank you for bringing it up. But I think I should, once the project is stable, I should consider it with Mix too, because there are some
Okay.
still some projects which are running on Mix. You are right. So
Yeah.
thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah.
So once we start compiling npm run dev, this runs before the original compilation, and the error which is like the files are not there is resolved from that. So this is the second configuration. The third configuration is
Hmm.
this action alias. So this taps into the resource directory, and like with the help of like an alias, you can directly
It's
import
good.
it from the long.
So one thing is that like you cannot do it directly from your project. I mean the alias things.
You can
I
do,
think I
you can
guess.
create all the alias, like whatever you want to create, you can create it in
No,
here.
no. I mean what I'm saying is like so people don't need to create actions alias. I mean it should be come by default with your project package. I mean that is possible.
I didn't have given it a
We need to
thought.
check, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
but
Because yeah, of
uh,
course. So it is like see, I seen some projects where it is done. So I think so. It
yeah, I
will
think
be possible.
package.json somehow manages that. You are right, but I have to give it like I have to look into it.
Yeah,
So maybe that's a good idea. Then you can deal like instead of putting into the configuration, you can directly it is one less configuration to
yeah,
manage.
right.
Okay, and then last, you just have to put your CSRF token in your app.blade file where
Hmm.
all the post and get CSRF
Of
token
course.
is required.
Hmm.
So we installed, yeah, npm run, and now we have to go to Vite configuration.
Hmm. So if you have multiple layouts or if you are not using layouts, you need to put it everywhere wherever it is required
Yeah, basically you have to put all in all of your
in
base.
your head file,
Yeah,
in your head.
in your headers. Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
Put it here. Meta done. Vite configuration.
Hmm.
Didn't copy.
Oops. I think it will be auto imported if you just try to put it after the tailwind CSS. I hope
Maybe,
so.
maybe, but I don't want to risk it right now.
Mm, okay. Because like I just few days ago I converted one of the projects from live tailwind 3 to tailwind 4, and we also moved from post CSS to Vite.
Yes. Okay, and here we have our final alias actions. Here we go.
Okay. So they are also adding Jiggy at
Yeah,
there.
PGJS is
Hmm.
also analyzed. Yeah, you can that's what I'm saying. Like you can use
So
like if you have something in your resource folder or something in or
conflicts.
buried inside your file directories, you can just put an alias here and you can directly use it anywhere.
Yeah, it is like so. It is maybe it is good to add it like by I mean what we call it into the Vite manually. I mean, so if you have all actions alias already, so you can use action from Lact or kinda. I mean to
Yeah, it's just
ignore conflicts.
it's just a string. You can give anything. You can give
Hmm.
your name if you want to. So
Right.
it's just a string
Perfect.
to be used. So after this, the configuration is
Hmm.
done. Let's just for the sake restart the server. Not required, but so this is the configuration. The configuration part is done here. Okay. Now our first
Right.
job is to get data from
Hmm.
the controller. So let's create a function here called pubf tasks, which will return task query. It is a model, right?
Okay.
paste and get. So easy peasy, no non-explanatory code. It will just send you all the tasks. Simply create it.
Yeah.
Now here's comes the catch. You add an attribute called actions. M Samgan lacked attribute. You put an action,
Hmm.
and this
Okay.
itself is enough to work. The
So,
default.
okay, this. Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
but just for the security purpose, I'll add a
Right, right.
middleware called auth. So okay, so now whatever
Mm.
route it will be generated, auto generated, whatever will happen, it will always go through the auth middleware. And you can add any number of middleware in this array and it will be implemented on your routes.
Hmm.
You don't have to put anything else
Yeah,
because
of course.
everything else will be auto generated, and by
Hmm.
default the method is get. So the default method is get. If you are making this for a get URL, basically when you create a route, when you create a get route and use
Hmm.
this function in that route, you don't have to put anything else.
So why? Okay. So right.
Your
Hmm.
voice is breaking. You can you repeat your question?
Okay. No, I haven't asked anything.
Okay. So moving forward, we go to our dashboard and we do the import. Okay, okay, I
No,
heard you.
I haven't asked anything.
So import tasks from task controller and wait config actions. You do actions, sorry, actions slash, and we are good to go. Okay, we'll remove. Okay, oh fuck. Okay, we have the task function from task controller. Let's restart the server just in case. Okay, now we create a function called const get tasks. Async because we need to wait call and see in here. Generally, what happens is you froze. Hello, hello, hello. I cannot hear you. I can see you. Your lips are moving, but I cannot hear
Hello.
you. Yeah, now I can.
Now I think it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, now it's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
I think my mic was disconnected or something like that. I don't know.
So now what I was
Hmm.
saying was, now here you put all your Axios or fetch or whatever package you are using to make API calls
Right.
here. So instead of that, now what you can do is you can just directly go to task.call and then dot then and response.
Hmm.
This is sync response log wait. Hmm,
Is it a TypeScript error?
I think so, yes. Or I'm
So you need to define a type, maybe array or something like that.
yeah, I will resolve those, yeah, into where parameter type. Yep, here it goes.
C type.
Guys, spelling mistake. Okay. Now if you go here and say use
Hmm.
effect.
So you also need to define a type for that variable
Yep.
const. I
No,
don't know.
like I have to put a state where I can put the response into this. I'm just calling it for your sake.
No, no, get task.
Dot.
So get task is missing. Okay, you haven't called it. That's what
Yeah,
you.
that's what I
Okay,
was saying.
got it.
So now
Hmm.
it will call on dashboard. You go inspect console. It the call was made, but the data didn't come. I think this user doesn't have.
Hmm.
So you see the
Because
call.
there is no data, you need to
Maybe I need to
create it
check that. Yeah.
with the factories.
Yep. But the call was made. The our thing is the call was made to that particular function. So if you instead of you go to this
Right.
and you put directly here, return message. Some see
Hmm.
the
We got
call
it.
was directly made and you can get the data. Okay. So let's
Hmm.
see
So you
what we
don't
do
even need
here.
to define anything.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we have task from user ID 2 and we are logged in with user 1.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
let's log
So
out.
just say login into direct user login function. What do you
No,
say?
I'll just log in as a human being.
Hmm.
Password.
Password.
Okay, so now we have
Okay.
user.name, task controller, go back to returning tasks.
Hmm.
And we have data.
Perfect.
Here,
Hmm. We have the data.
here,
Oops. What happened?
here we have the
Okay.
data. All the 10 tasks are here.
Hmm.
We got the task. So this is like the first. So you didn't create anything. You just wrote your controller function. You imported your controller function here, and then you just called it. But in
Right.
all honesty,
Hmm.
then this become the redundant code.
Hmm.
So I was like, I can make it more easier. I can definitely make it more easier. So what I did is I went one more level ahead. Async. Okay. Await task dot data. So now this will return you the data directly. So you can remove this boilerplate too. So if you go back here and see here,
Hmm.
yeah, okay, get task, sorry,
Hmm.
no. Then yeah, and we are not logging anything, so we have to go in the network and check here. We have all the data.
So why
So
we need to do then? I mean.
you don't have to. It just give me squiggly lines. I told you, when the lines are there, so basically, as soon as you put an async in front of a
Hmm.
function, it becomes a promise. So whenever there is a promise, you have to put it then so that the ID is calmer. So this is like bringing all the data. So we removed everything from in between. So now this become simple
Hmm.
one liner, and you have all your data. So we create.
So you can also remove the async await.
No, we have to resolve the promise. Fetch returns a promise. Internally, it is using fetch API, and fetch API always returns a
No,
promise.
I mean, see, yeah. Let me tell you. I mean, you can just use a task as a function. I mean,
Yeah, that you can do, but
and you will have everything async then and all.
yeah,
Hmm.
I agree on that. That can be done, but generally, the React developers go this direction that they bring all the data through a function and then put that data in a state, and then they use that state for
Hmm.
work around on the UI.
Yeah, so you can add that into the use effect directly. I mean, what?
Yeah, I'm
So
planning
see,
to do that.
what you can do is you can have a task and task data, two functions for particular action. And if you call a task data, you will have a data with promise resolved. I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah, we can
with the
like
resolved promise.
that can be like one of the update I can push. That then you can remove the await and everything too, so it become more
Hmm.
compact. So what I've done here is I just created one
Hmm.
state and directly set state with the all the data I have from here. Okay. I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell you why we are passing this empty object in here, because this object will take queries, strings, and parameters, and all the we if we pass, we have to pass something
Right.
into it. So as of now, we don't have anything, so
Mm-hmm.
we just put it empty, and this will sign this, and then we can show here task is dot map, and give me some HTML.
Mm-hmm. So you are making developers' life easy with this package.
That's the goal. That's always the goal.
So, so even like you can use it into the React's view anywhere, right? What wherever you like.
Yes, it's as of now it's not framework based or library based. It's like general.
Hmm.
It needs a key.
Okay.
Is task.id. So here we go. We have all the tasks in the list here.
Oh, Laral Jutsu in the house. Hey, Ludo, how are you?
I'm not even checking the chat.
I was reading some comments.
Yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
So, and we have just like one liner, and we have all the data from here. Let me just make an interface here quickly. So we got the get part. So this is the get part. There are two approaches. Like, let me just recap quickly. There are two approaches to the get part. Either you can use the call method, dot call method, or you
Hmm.
can directly call dot data method. Dot
Hmm.
data method is basically short and comprised of
Right.
call method, so that you don't have to put redundant code again and again in dot then format. Okay, now what we do, we create a delete button. It's wrong. Okay, sorry, you cannot pass two things in the. So now we have a delete method. Bgret. Yeah, it is angry.
If you don't mind, I will be back in 2 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. You want me to continue or want me to wait for you?
Yeah, you can continue,
Okay,
or
thank you.
like,
I'll,
yeah, you
I'll,
can continue.
I'll set up the UI for that.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. I will be happy to answer those.
Okay, I'm back.
That was quick.
Uh, hmm.
I thought it will take some time.
I think we have some no, I think we have some messages on YouTube, but I'm not able to see that on our chat. think some bug or something like that. I don't know. So, are you able to see those chats?
Last chat I can see is from Laravel
Because I
Jujutsu.
want to show. Okay.
Last chat I
Uh,
have is from
uh,
Laravel Jujutsu.
I can only see the from the Vignesh. I don't know. I can't see messages after the
No, there are
Vignesh,
like,
the Vignesh message.
okay, hey, 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 I'm
Mm.
fine.
Okay.
I'm doing good. How about you? All good. Okay.
So Jutsu is saying that if I get it right, you can basically reach the controller's methods directly from the front end.
If I get it right,
Mm.
you can basically reach the control money. Yes, yes, all of them. Either either you are receiving
Mm.
data from the function or you are sending data to the function. Any method, put, post, patch, delete, all of the message you can just directly get it from the front end without any different
Right.
configuration. So here we
Right.
go.
So of course, and maybe you can show like new viewers that how to define action and
Just a
yeah.
second, let me configure this UI because UI is a nightmare for every backend developer. So we have a UI a little bit.
Mhm.
It will work though.
Mm.
Yep, these are not invoices.
Okay.
So here we go. So what were you asking? Can you repeat your question, Pune, again?
Oh, I think there are some new users, viewers maybe. So
Mm.
you can show that how to define action into the
Yeah.
controller.
So what the package provides is package removes the redundant code, and how to do that is first we have the wheat configuration which runs the command whenever we change, whenever we make any change in controller or routes. Okay, so this will just rewrite, and what it does, it in the background it pushes all your controller function in the form of JS functions, and which can be directly accessible through your controller name. And when you are defining the configuration for it, you define the action which taps into the uh, directory where all your JS
Earlier.
code resides. So this action is nothing but a short version of the entire path from the vendor to the
Hmm.
package, and then from where you can directly
Yes.
import it all the
So
functions.
remote developer is saying there will be.
Yeah, there
Okay,
is no.
sorry.
Yeah,
The
he's saying
remote developer is saying there will be no need.
to define route. Yes,
Yeah.
I can read it. Yeah, there is no need. There is no only the routes you need to define is the routes which are visible in the browser. Like for example, new page route. Those route you have to define. Route just for the sake of accessing data or pushing data to controllers for processing. You don't have to define them anymore. This package will do it by itself. One point at this moment I would like to say that it's also adds an additional layer of security, not in like too much, but a little bit of additional layer of security. And the reason behind that is every time
Mm.
you compile your resources, the routes are changed. The routes are not same, they are dynamically generated, and every time it's a new route. So no one can like hack into your routes. Every time you push or every time you run npm dev on production, npm run build on production, it just creates new route for you. So it gives like a little bit extra I'm not saying that it's 100% secure, but a little bit extra layer to a the security point.
Mm. So he's saying like for navigational purpose. I mean, so you need to define a route for just navigation
Yeah, those
purpose.
those you need to define those. I was thinking
Yeah.
about it, but that would be too much.
Mm.
So we do here. What was I doing? Yeah, I was making the UI. Okay, so we have the list of the task. Let's do the delete thingy. DD button class name BG red. Just a second.
Mm.
I hate UI. I'm so sorry. So hopefully we have a delete button. Okay, so we have a delete button here. So far so good. Now let's create a delete function in controller. Pubf destroy. We will have task, which will be task, and you know what to do. Task delete. Okay. So now what we do? Hash middleware auth method will be delete, and we are good. So we put the method delete and middleware auth, and this is now accessible. Let's restart the server, just why not?
So every
And
time you need to restart the server,
no, you don't
the vid
actually.
server.
That's the actual reason the run thing is there. But I, again, old habit. Whenever I made a configuration change or whenever the changes are in I just restart it just for the sake of clarity of mind that nothing is wrong because of that.
Hmm.
So we go there.
Okay, you.
That's my personal. You don't have to. You really don't have to.
Yeah, it's like you mistyped the middleware name or something like that.
Did I? No. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out.
Hmm.
And this is good. This is done. Middleware auth method delete. We got destroy here. We got a button here. On click. If not confirm. Yep. Then
So the
no.
remote developer again saying that what about writing inertia render method in the controller function?
You can do that. You don't have to just add the attribute. You can add the, you can
Hmm.
create whatever function you want until unless you put the action attribute on the method, it won't be recognized by the package. So you can have like 20 functions,
Hmm.
private and public, however you want. Just don't put the attribute on it until you want that to be connected with front end.
So even you don't need to write those functions into the controller. You can write anywhere in any class
No, 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 that has to be in controller because
technically.
that has to be, it could be that way, but for the sake of organization, I keep it to the controller level because
No, I'm
routes
just
are.
saying for like technically.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just asking like technically you can write action attribute anywhere and that function will be
No, no, no.
accessible.
No, it won't be. It will be only be
Okay.
accessible with controller. And the reason behind that is the Laravel is architectured and structured in this way that routes are configured with controllers. So internally, wherever you
Hmm.
put an action and method, internally it creates a route for that. Because there is only one way to have like communication between server and client, and that is through APIs. And for API or for URLs, you need routes. So it automates that
Okay.
process, but in the background, the basic is still the same.
Got it.
Here we go. If we're not confirmed, I show only else destroy dot call and dot then. So now I will tell you, see one thing. So now if you will hit delete, we will see one thing. Okay, you see there is no data, like the URL is hit, but the task ID is not passed in the URL. So what we do, we go
Right.
this here,
Hmm.
parents, task is task ID. Simple. Now if you'll hit again, You see the task ID is here. Now the task ID is passing as a query parameter because we didn't pass parameter in our method. So if we go back to our controller method and pass, sorry, here, params, that will be also a array task. So as soon as you pass this task as param, it becomes the parameter of the part of the URL, and instead of passing it as a query string, it start passing it as a parameter. And rest model routing, Laravel model routing takes over, and the task is directly tasked to you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Got.
now if you do here, it will go and you see this API call here. See transaction /1. This went. If you refresh, first one is deleted. So what we have to do is here.
Right.
After then, just call get task dot then, and we are good to go. So delete, deleted, remove this, delete, done. So any questions regarding this? So this is the delete method. Like we created a route with delete, we are deleting like as directly from the method
Right.
itself.
So it uses a delete action or some. You need to define the delete.
Whatever you
I mean for
query,
route.
it will use delete
Okay,
actually.
method delete. Yeah, perfect.
It will see
Yeah.
method get method delete. It will automatically. You have to pass it here. It works with
Mm-hmm.
default is get. If you leave it empty, it will be a get method. It works with post, patch, put, delete, and even it works with head also. If you
Right.
want, like I don't know who uses head, but it works with head too.
Okay. So even like it will be possible to guess the method name from the sorry, get the method name from the method of the controller, like
Yes,
method name of the controller.
yes, you can do
So
that.
you
Like
can like guess the method name as a delete if the method name of the controller is delete or destroy, right? So
that can be in like future scope where you can like dynamically go to the function name and
after
uh,
making it stable, yeah.
yeah, put some more like machine learning kind of things that which can sense the type of function and according to that automatically create a uh, route according
Yeah,
to that
I,
method.
for the sake of what I'm saying is, we can just think about the 7 methods provided by the Laravel, right? That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, index, create, edit, those. So we can guess that. And of
That's
course, if those are not there, they can override if they want to
yeah,
use another
that's
method. I
a
mean,
really great suggestion actually that the default controller method which Laravel comes with the resource basically that can be the default
hmm
route binding and then else you can just pass it on them. That's a good, really good suggestion.
yeah. hmm
So we had the delete. Now we go for store. So let's create a tiny form here.
I think everyone will be much pretty clear about your package now, I guess, right?
Yeah, if you
What do
like,
you say? I
this is
mean,
redundant now. Just one thing that whenever there is an exception from any side, just I want to show you one thing that uh,
yeah.
like let me use the get method for it or delete method. Say for example, we put a catch here and we log the errors. Destroy dot.
Hmm. Okay, so you need to do a destroy dot errors, not the e dot error or something like
No,
that.
no, no. The anything which goes wrong while calling this function will be logged into this error
Mm-hmm.
things. So once you have like your everything in place
Uh-huh.
and everything is proper, like you just use these error methods and you can do according to that. And whenever anything goes wrong,
Okay.
and when I say anything goes wrong, it means anything, any status apart from which starts with 20,
Yeah.
like 201 is accepted,
200.
201 is accepted, anything 200 20 is good, accepted. Anything apart from
10
these,
is also good, right?
I googled it, like,
Yeah.
is any other success status up which does
There
not.
are 101, 102, 103, and 104 are partial success.
Yeah, I that might I need to update my code for that. But as of now,
Mm-hmm.
200 are accepted, 20 dot 20 stars are accepted. Apart from that, anything comes into existence, it just throws an
Yeah,
exception.
it's totally fine. See, you
Hmm.
can initially start with that 20 stuff, and people will comes with their issues, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
that time, at that time you can solve.
yeah, that's why it is like towards the completion of beta, towards going towards stability, but still not in alpha release. It's still in beta
Hmm.
release. So this is like
Right.
how all the functions work. You just create your function, you put method, parameter, middleware. Additionally, you can
Mhm.
put usage here. So you can put method, path, name, parameters, and middlewares. So like I don't know if someone
Right.
need particular path, like I want to make this path. I don't want a dynamic path. They can provide a path too. If they want particular name of the function, they can provide a name of the function too. That I want this named route. Like
Right.
parameter and middleware we already discussed.
Right.
One thing as of now, as of today, if you leave the middleware empty, the system will automatically put the web by default. So, because without web
Hmm.
middleware, Laravel won't let you access any controller.
Okay.
It will be 403 or 401,
Right.
I don't
Right.
know something, but it won't. So, web is by default. Whatever you put in the function itself, controller
Right.
file itself, it just adds on to that. This is the function for controller. It also works with closures. So, if you have a closure method in your web file, all you have to do is put a prefix action in front of it,
Hmm.
and you can directly, and the name of the function
Okay.
will convert into, like, the name of the function, name of the route will convert into the call of the function. Like the dashboard.data will be dashboard data will be the name of the function. You can call it with the help, and it can be accessible in closure file.
Dashboard.
You want me to
Okay.
explain it more, or it was
Hmm.
self-explanatory?
Right. Yeah, it's a good explanation.
So more or less it works with
Hmm.
all the either closure or controller. And if you have like a running project and you don't want to move everything into the controller, and you have already defined routes, so what you can do is you can just go and put a prefix action in front of them, and all those routes will be
Right.
uh, you can extract them from actions.
Right.
So that sums up the entire
Okay. I
project
think it was
more or
good.
less. And
Hmm.
as I said before, like right now we are
Yeah.
like I am working
Of
on
course.
two major updates. First is removing the dependency of Ziggy, and second is the integration with inertia forms. So
Right.
that can be expected in like future releases.
Right. So I think remote developer asking something or also like instead of defining middleware above each method, can't we define an action or middleware one time somewhere in a resource controller?
That's the part of like
I
a
think
future
it can be
scope.
a good addition.
That's the part of the plan of the future, like class-based action. Like I can put middleware on the entire class, and then put an exception which function needs to be accepted from that. But that's the part where I'm like trying to figure out. I also thought about it in all honesty, that I also don't want to put middleware on all function. Can I put it in one player? So first I thought I can put it in a configuration that all routes should go through this configuration, but I'm figuring that out. So feel free to reach out and give me some good suggestion if you have, like, where can we put a common middleware for all the functions.
Right, right. Even like see, you can do one thing maybe. See, uh, no, like if you are importing from the controller, right, the function.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can access is via attribute or something like that, right? Simply.
No, that was also like put a class level attribute where you can put the middleware on that entire class instead of on the method itself. But then again,
Yeah.
I want some method which should not go through some this authentication or this middleware.
Yeah, of course you will need to only, and yeah. So
Yeah.
it will be like give option and they will decide now they need to use it in a which way.
Hmm. So yeah, that is true. So, but it's
Mm.
in consideration. That thought already occurred, like that process already started of thinking like what we can do about
Yeah,
it. It's in
of
consideration
course.
because again, it is the entire goal of this package is to
So
remove
also,
redundant code.
mhm, okay. So even like you can define the middleware group at itself, right? So it's a
And just
middleware group.
yeah,
Then
and just call the group on the method or something like that. Yeah, that is also a possibility. I also thought about that.
okay,
But
perfect.
something, but for the sake of
Okay, I think
conversation, something will definitely come in future where you don't have to write middleware on all the method. You can just classify it somewhere, and the system will take it from there.
yeah, right. Even there can be a configuration where like you can say that which controllers should have used this middleware or something like that. So there are lots of possibilities. It is like endless
Yeah.
thinking of the finding ways.
Yes. As
Mhm.
easy as it could be.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Any other question from
So
anyone,
let's go
or
ahead.
we are good to go?
Mm, yeah. I don't know if they have any questions. Okay. So, how do you come with this idea? I mean,
The Wayfinder, like I told you, as the when Wayfinder hit, like I saw Wayfinder Tyler's tweet on the Wayfinder, I was like, finally, I found something which I
hmm,
don't have to like the redundant code. But eventually, when I tried Wayfinder,
yeah.
it was just route management. I'm like, mm. So that gave me a basic stepping stone that okay, if these routes can be imported in the front end, then why can't entire function
Hmm.
can be imported?
Yeah. So, why you named it as a action or not the route or something like that? I mean, the attribute.
Basically, actions are. I think Laravel have an action package which directly taps into when you use Blade and you use that action package that directly taps into the controller function via routes. But you can just directly call action in the Blade template and it will directly go into the route
So
controller.
you will still
So
need a route. I mean,
yeah, you will
right.
still read it out. I just made it automated. It's the same thing but more
Hmm.
automatic.
Of course. Hmm. So, what more you are thinking about? I mean, in a future, your what are
Uh,
your goals of future?
Future goals. Let me first stop sharing my screen. If it's you want to stop, like it's okay if I share and stop sharing my screen.
Yeah. 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 Of course. Of course, it is fine. Totally.
Stop sharing. Okay, now we are back to here. So, uh, I have like some ideas regarding that, like where it can go in future. Basically, the first thing was like
Mhm.
inertia form integration along with the removal of Ziggy because why to depend on a third party instead of when we can do it our own.
Hmm.
So these are like the two major updates which will be pushed in future. After that, I am thinking about as the starter kit, like using the React or Breeze as a base starter kit and using Lact as the communicator. So Lact based starter kit for React.
Right.
After that,
Hmm.
once that is done, then it can go into like three separate packages or four separate packages actually, which can be like the first is Lact React, Lact View, and Lact Swap.
React.
And
Hmm.
this is a
So,
raw idea, but
hmm.
maybe for core PHP too.
Okay. So why you like thinking about separating them? I mean,
Uh,
for React View and all.
because the reaction you have to manually, like for example, error happened, so you have to bind that error from like destroy.errors to the state and then the screen will re-render or show that error to the screen because I as a object change cannot re-render the screen. It has to be re-rendered with the help of React or state something. So that was I was
Right.
struggling from that, and that when the React came into existence. So if it is a separate package based on React itself, what it can do is it can internally manipulate those states and rendering can be changed from there. Same goes for Vue and same goes for Svelte.
Hmm.
That is the reason
Okay.
Inertia Forms use three separate packages for three separate frameworks.
mm,
Else they would have done it in one framework,
right.
one package too, but it cannot
Yeah,
be
of
managed. It has to
course.
be write differently.
So yeah, maybe like that even can be the reason of having a separate starter kit, right? Because previously those were a single starter kit like a Breeze or Jetstream, right?
Mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
maybe yeah,
it's when the platform changes, like core concept is always same, but majority of time detailing has to be tweaked here and there, and that it like in
right,
essence
right,
it says that is a small change, but small, and by the end of the day you see you have changed 200 files.
right, right. Perfect. Okay, so that is from my side, and I don't see any questions from the audience. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you have,
Uh,
if you want to share anything in the
yeah, as a
last, yeah, you can
conclusion,
do.
first I would like to thank you for letting me speak on your platform. Like that is a huge favor you have done me, because like thank you so much for letting me speak.
Yeah, it's like see, it is. I'm doing stuff for the people already. Like I mean, there is no any specific goal. I mean, it is something like I want to share information to the everyone, right? So yeah, so it was a part of it as well.
Yeah, so that would be like my first thing, and whoever like watched the stream and have any questions or want to understand more about this package and want to contribute to which again definitely like one person cannot do like much. I started the idea and I put the idea forward, but I'll still need the community support, the community we were talking about in the starting of this podcast. So definitely I'll need more support and more like ideas or PRs
Right.
if people can. So that would be always be appreciated.
Yeah.
So I would like to put a request for
Even
that.
see you can find, yeah, you can find the details of package and the Mohammed himself into the description, right? So
Yeah,
you can reach out to him.
yeah. Definitely reach out in case of any question or like any suggestion or like anything you want to talk about, just talk about it. Or you have an idea you want to work with and you don't know where to get
Right.
started or anything, just reach out. It's like more than
Yeah.
anything is more than welcome.
Hmm. So tomorrow we will have one stream called "We Must Ship," or we can say "We Must Ship," right? And we will talk about Laravel updates. So join us tomorrow, same
Uh,
time.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for joining.